Hello viewers, welcome back. In our previous session, we have discussed about shared preferences, how does it works, how to implement the methods. And in this session, we are going to implement it with the example. I'm just creating a small UI, something like storing a name and email ID of a particular person, or you can consider like login kind of thing, email and password, whatever it is. I'm just taking a very simple example here. So as already explained, for the session managements, we use shared preferences. Though you kill your application, your data is persistent. And when you uninstall the application, then only you lose data. Now, this kind of simple example I'm going to create. I need to create a layout with 2 edit text and 3 buttons to save the data, load the data, and clear the data. So just open your Android Studio, go to File, new project, select empty activity, click on next. Change your app name to shared prefs demo or shared preferences. So click on finish button. It will take few seconds to build your project. Let's wait for that. The Gradle build is running now. Configuring the projects, scanning and indexing. It has been completed. As we already know, for every project we handle with UI first. Go with split mode. So change your parent from constraint to relative layout because I have a UI in such a way where the view has sibling relation like side by side and all. Now just remove this text view, add edit text. I'm just going to have the mandate attributes, that is layout width, match parent, layout height. It's going to be wrap content, and this is an edit text, so you required int for this. Now just int underscore edit text underscore, or simply say int underscore name. There is no such string yet. Alt enter is a shortcut key. Just provide name. And now you got it. And there should be an input type for this, which are mandate, as we know already. That is like text person name. All done. Just copycat and replica. The second hint means the next edit text is going to have an hint, that is email. Alt enter. Then just add email address or simple email. Now the input type, this is going to be text email address. Close this. And these are all overlap because in relative layout, the default location is top left corner. Just create an ID for the first edit text, that is at the right ID. Name edit. So just you can say name underscore ET. The second edit text should be below of this. And in the annotations, you can select at the right ID, name ET, or done. So for this edit text also, you have to create an ID, at the right plus ID. This is email edit text, email underscore ET. As I already explained, the suffix or prefix of that particular type of the view should be given so that it would be easy for you to just loading in the activity. The next is like going to add a button. Width wrap content, height is also wrap content. Label for the button must come from the string reference, that is going to be simply say load I am taking. There is no such string. Simply say LOAD, and of course it will be turned into uppercase default. Then just close your button, and this should be below of your name edit, sorry, email edit text. Okay, and this also button required an ID for this at the right place ID, and this is going to be load button, or else you can say simply button btn underscore, that is load. Now I'm just done with this. What else I required? to save the data also I required. So I'll do one thing. I'll just, before this, I'll create it. Open angular bracket, button, width wrap content, height wrap content, text must be a string reference, that is save button. So there is no such string. Alt enter is a shortcut key. Add the label save, and there is the default location. I'm going to give it like below of your email edit. Just close your button, and this particular button should be to write off or to end of your button load. Sorry, what is that? Okay, I haven't created any ID for the save button, so just create an ID for this. So btn underscore save. So where this should be end of control space button save, done. So you are going to create one more button, just some copycat, because you already know how to do all this. To save the time, I'm just copying it, and this is going to be button clear. Button clear. Text is going to be clear. So create, say clear, and this is going to be below of email edit, and where I have this is to end of the load button. And I got all three, but seems to be passed up to the corner. So just for the first button, the save button, I need to have margin start, that is going to be 8 dp, and for the second, that is margin end. Sorry, for the first also, yeah, no issues. Margin end 8 dp. So for the first button also, I should give this because the presence should be clear. On the right hand side, I need some space. So this also given. Now all done, just run your project once and check whether it is really working or not. That will be running. In here, it is a common procedure for every project or every activity, whatever you say. Installing, launching, success. Now I got my requirement, that name edit text, email edit text with 3 buttons: save, load, and clear. That is perfect. Now just the next step is to load all these views into our activity, because we are going to handle the click functionalities. So now what I'm going to do is, like for the buttons, we already know for buttons we have an on click attribute. Just go there and add on click. So this is the save one, right? So I'm just going to say that save prefs is my method name, or save preferences, or whatever it is. Okay, you'll take like this, preference, save preference. There is no such method yet. So alt enter, create this inside your main activity. It's done. Now same way for the load button. On click attribute, this is to load preference. So just replace save word with load. That's all. Again, it will throw us an error. Alt enter, create the respective method inside our main activity, and then come back, roll back. Alt tab is a shortcut key. Then here also one, the final one, that is, now I'm just going to say clear fields. Alt enter. So I'm just going to clear my edit text and these fields. Now done. So I'm going to load these 2 edit text to my activity, that is edit text name comma email. So inside your on create method, you have to load them using find view by id method. You already know that name is equals to find view by id r dot id dot name edit text. So just you say name underscore et and with semicolon, and the second one do the same. Email is equals to find view by id r dot id dot email et and with semicolon. And for when you create this, I mean when the on create method is called on an activity, I should get my preferences. So we already discussed all these in our previous session. So just go back and check how to get a preference file. So I'm just going to take shared prefs. So where I have shared preferences is equals to, we have a get method, get shared preferences to get it. And this get shared preferences is taking name of the preferences and the mode. We already discussed this. So for that, to save the time and to write in a professional way, I'm just going to create the file names and all this here. I'm just going to create a constant for this. So constant means we'll use final keyword, final. So the type of this is going to be string, and as it is a constant, you should write in uppercase. I'm just going to take that file name, file underscore name is equals to, so in the double quotations, you can say like, you can take whatever the name it is. Now I'm going to take user prefs and with semicolon, and that's all. Just come here to this, get shared preferences. First one is the name of the file, that is nothing but my file name. Just type, annotations will come. The second parameter is the mode. So simply we already know that it is going to be 0, it will take, because it has mode read and write for this 0. That is nothing but mode private or whatever you call it as. Or else we have constants like this, mode private. Earlier we have mode readable and mode writable also for individually. And in the recent versions that has been deprecated, and when you provide mode private as a into mode, it has read and write both access. So just simply say mode private and with semicolon. And when the user click on save prefs, we are going to save it. How can I save that? I'm going to call an edit method of this particular shared preferences. But this shared preference object became a local method or local object of this onCreate method. So that is why, what should I do? Let's make this shared preference object as a global one. Just go to, before the creates onCreate method, shared preferences, variable declaration has been completed. Now, when the user click on this, it's going to save the preferences. How can it be? So now I'm just going to call shared preferences editor, shared preferences dot editor. So where editor is equals to creating an object, and we are accessing which file I want to edit. The shared preferences dot edit means the file is inside this particular shared preference object. So just call that object dot edit method, and when you want to edit it, just simply edit the values. And we already know that to store the values we have put methods. Just call editor dot put. You're all storing only the string values, so just go for put string. The key, you have to provide this key, and please make sure that it is a case sensitive. Now I'm just going to take the name key. So the key name as what? Name underscore key, comma the value what you want to store. So from where we are getting, from the name edit text. So just call edit text object dot get text. So here it is, get text dot toString. Whatever the value has been given inside that particular one will be stored. The same way for the second one, editor dot the put string method. The key is going to be the PWD key, password key, comma, it's going to be email dot get text dot toString, and with semicolon. Those two values has been stored, and you must call commit method on this to make your changes permanent or persist, and with semicolon. Done. Now, after this, run your project once and see whether this particular shared preferences has been created with the file name we provided or not. So now the project is launching. Just provide name ekida. The email actually it should be. Sorry, I have taken the key name as password key. We will change it. Don't worry. That is going to be ekida at the right gmail.com. Or you can say info at ekida.com. Click on save button. I don't know whether this data has been saved or not, and already uh, validation part I have explained in previous sessions. Login validation, just go there and check it out how to handle all these. But we already know that from the device file explorer, we can check it out whether this particular file has been created or not. So go to device file explorer, inside that find data folder. Inside that again, you go for data folder. Inside that you'll see your package name. That is, I have taken that as com.ekida, I think so. Just scroll down, find here it is com.ekida dot shared prefs. Expand, the shared prefs folder has been given, and this is user prefs, which is what I have trying to do it. Saving those values inside this. Right click, open. So when you click on open button, that particular file has been opened here in the studio editor only. The name key is ekida and the password key is ekida@gmail.com. So just as I forgot, like it is not a password key, it's an email key. Just rerun your project. I will be running. Okay, successfully launched. Same as usual, go to File Explorer, open. This is not yet changed because it was persist. Already I told you, right? It has been stored. Now I'm just going to replace that values. Yes, now I'm going to update it. That's it. Click on Shade Types icon. Now I'm just taking something like the name as GVR and just taking that as GVR@gmail.com. Click on save button. You can handle something like when you click on save, it should say like data has been saved successfully with a toast. You can make it happen. So just go to login validation program in our previous videos. Now just go to File Explorer. This is your user prefs. Open. Now it has been replaced. The key has been replaced with password key to email key, and the values has been already changed. You see here, this I got one more, right? The previous key, whatever I have just given, is already stored here. Okay, you can clear it out when you kill your project completely, means uninstalling and reinstalling. You have to do a full installation process. That's okay. I'm not going to waste my time on that. Yeah, after this, when you click on load preferences, it should do something. So before that, when I clear, it should clear. So when I click on clear button, it should clear. So for that, when the user click on clear button, so this name and email should be, so set text, the empty parenthesis, and the next, sorry, do the same for email also, dot set text with empty quotations. Done. Now run your project once. Then it will be running. Launching now. Just take the values. I'm again taking with ekida, and the email is simply hr@ekida.com. Click on save. When you click on clear, these two values has been cleared. And go to device file explorer and please do check, like, this values has been given. Now run this. When the user click on load, it should check the condition, like if the data is already available, then you should get it. How can you get that when you want to load it? So we have a method called contains method on a shared preferences. So if the value is there, it will display, or else so it won't. Now I'm just taking a condition if shared preferences dot contains. It is taking key as an input. What is the key we have already created? That is name underscore key. So name underscore key, and with if it is there, then what it is going to do? It's going to set the value to that particular edit text. What is the edit text? Name edit text dot set text, and you are trying to set the text. from where you are getting this basically from the shared preferences. So you just call shared preferences object, that file name dot, and you're going to get the values. So you are given that as a string value. So just use get string method. And upon this, you are going to provide the key name first. What is that key name? The same for the name, it is name underscore key. So comma, the default value it is asking for it. So no default value, just you can keep it null. Done. And do the same else. Yeah, sorry, no else cases, it's must and should. So again, you can go for if. The same shared preferences. If it is contains, that is which one email key. If this particular email key is there, then it is going to set the data to what, to this particular email edit text. So just provide the same values here. Just it's going to be the value of the key is going to be replaced. That's all. Now run your project. Installing, launching, launch successfully. I'm not entering now. I'll click on load button. When I click on load button, it is storing the value to the email edit text. Why? The problem is I am setting it with the name edit text only. So now you just rerun your project once. Installing, launching activity. Yeah, now click on load. The name is Ekida. Value is hr@ekida.com. So these values has been given. When you want to clear, these values will be clear. When you want to load, it will be load. So when you want to save, it will be saved. So this usually when you are doing a session management, let us suppose for the Gmail, for the first time when you are trying to save the data, it will be. The next time if there is any error occurs, then at that point of time, you should call this particular activity, which will have visibility with the UI, these two edit text and load button or forgot password button. When you click on forgot password button, it should, the email value should be automatically saved and the remaining backend data you can do it. Okay, backend validation part you can do it. This is again a high level program. So it's just the validation concept already I have explained. How does it works in the real time? So this is how we work with the preferences in Android. Thanks for watching guys. Let's catch up in the next session.